I'm finally getting a lot better at sourcing at the bins. If you don't know, the bins are basically Goodwill outlet stores. There, instead of paying per piece, you pay by the pound. It's a sourcing option that I never really explored fully before, and that's just because I was focused on selling only shoes, and the bins aren't a great place to get a lot of shoes at once, at least not the locations around me, but it is a great place to get a bunch of clothing for cheap. So that's what I have for you here today. It's about 70 items that I've picked up at the bins the past couple of weeks. I have my receipts here. The average cost of goods varies for me. It just depends on how many pounds you get. The more you get, the cheaper you pay per item. But some of my cost of goods over these past few weeks have been $2 a piece, another $2, $1.95, $1.78, and then I have a $2.17. So overall, I'd say maybe like an average of about $2 is what I paid per piece for all of this stuff I'm about to show you. There's a whole bunch to get through, so let's just jump right in. I kind of organized the haul from summer all the way to fall. Here towards the front, I do have a bunch of shorts and some shirts, short sleeves, long sleeves, dresses, and then we'll get to the pants. And then in this bin back here, it's all like sweaters, chunkier type jackets and things like that. First up, we have these DIY Levi's cut off Daisy Duke shorts. That's a great keyword to use for any shorts that are on the shorter end. Daisy Dukes. I did sell this exact, well, not this exact, but shorts that were very similar to these. They were DIY, they were shredded like this, but those were a women's and they were a better style of Levi's. These are actually the 511 men's jeans, and someone made them into women's festival type shorts. So I'm not sure how these are going to do because of that. The other ones that I picked up did sell very fast, so we'll see how those do. The next pair of shorts is actually something that I wanted to try out for me, which is why I picked them up. Some more dressy chino type shorts. They are by Banana Republic. I wouldn't have picked these up if it wasn't for me, but I wanted to see if they would fit me well. More than anything, I just didn't like the color. We'll see if those eventually sell. These actually already sold last night, so I'll package them right after this video. They are by this Free People brand called Freest. It says free-est. They are, let me see, a size large, so that's great. I initially thought, or I think they actually are, some swim shorts. So they have a top that go with it. As soon as I found the shorts, I did my best to look everywhere around it to make sure I wasn't missing the top, because that would obviously up the value of these by a whole bunch. Once I started doing comps, I was kind of going back and forth, like, should I bring it home when it's just the shorts and not the shirt? But comps looked amazing. They were selling for like $50, $60, $70 and above on Poshmark and on eBay. Although on eBay I just saw white ones in the sold comps, if I remember correctly. So because they were selling that high, I thought I could get something out of these shorts. They ended up selling, I think, for around $23 on eBay, and with a super low buy cost, that's worth it. Then we have some men's shorts here. They're by Eddie Bauer. I thought these were substantial enough to pick up. Eddie Bauer is a brand that doesn't sell that fast or for that much, but because they have the belt, they're a more thicker material, cargo style, they are a larger size and a size 40, I thought I'd give them a shot. I did pick up two other shorts, one at the bins and one at regular thrift stores that were men's, that sold pretty fast and for a decent amount, so that makes me motivated to try out more men's shorts, which is why I picked that one up. This next pair of shorts I got because I sold an exact style. They're by J. Crew, but they were pink. These are green linen blend, shorter type shorts for summer vacations, coastal style. Dark green color is a great one to pick up, so that's why I decided to give these a shot. These next two are very similar. I have a blue corset with the lace-up back, and then a pink one also with the lace-up back. I've sold, I can't remember if 2 or 3 of these. I think both on Depop for around $20. They take maybe like a month to sell, but eventually they sell, and I thought these were very pretty colors. The dark cobalt blue with the black, the satin bows in the front, and I thought this one looked very princessy with the pink color and the, is it called jacquard style texture. The thing with this one is that it is a little bit more flimsy than this one. This one has a lot more structure. The boning feels a lot sturdier, and this one it's very bendable. So I was really going back and forth whether I should get it, but I love the color so much I wanted to try it. I think these have a big potential to end up selling for me, just like the other ones, around the $20 mark, especially because we're moving into Halloween season and people could use these for costumes. This next piece is actually a faja compression Colombian style thing for post-operation when people are healing and things. I thought it was in great condition. I made sure to check the crotch area very well, made sure that all the closures worked properly, and I did look it up. It's by Mia Aesthetics, and the comps looked pretty well on eBay. And what made me initially pick it up out of the bin and start looking into it is because I've heard Gloria, who I talk about all the time here on this channel, but we live in the same area, so we find similar things, and I saw her exploring with these and they do well for her. And after I looked up comps, it confirmed that these have a potential to sell in the 40s, 50s, or above. So we'll see how this piece does for me. I thought this was a very cute, beautiful piece. It is by Victoria's Secret. It has lace here, a large satin bow, pleating here, baby doll style dress. I looked up comps as well. They seem to be doing good, which I thought they would. It is a size medium and it is just a modern Victoria's Secret, but when you can find this kind of stuff by Victoria's Secret and it's vintage, all the better. But still, I think this still has a potential to sell for a decent price. Then we have this brand here that I pick up a whole bunch in shoes, but in clothing it always backfires on me, and yet I decided to give this piece a try. It is just a simple vest, button down, collared. I have been selling a lot of steampunk-ish style jackets and also blazer tops. This gave me that vibe as well, which is why I decided to try it. It is a size 1, so it's smaller when it comes to Torrid. I think it ends up being a large. Torrid normally does better when it's 1X, 2X or above, at least I think from what I've heard. But I still wanted to give this a try, mainly because of the style and because I didn't pay much for it. If I saw this at a regular thrift store and I was paying $5 or more, then I wouldn't have picked it up. This also is a style-based pickup, although I think this is a fairly expensive brand. It's called Sandra, so like me, but a guy. It has roughly collar here at the shoulders, here at the sleeves, white ribbed, great condition overall, although I was kind of tripping out because I couldn't tell if there was yellow discoloration here. I kept looking at it. I even went outside to look. I didn't know if it was my eyes playing tricks on me or what, but in the end I think it is some yellowish discoloration here. I thought about stain treating it, washing it to see if I can make it look better, but I think I'll end up making it look worse. So instead I just left it alone, disclosed it in the pictures, and hopefully this ends up selling for me. I did find a good stock photo. This top right here is a pretty deep purple color by this brand. I don't even know how to say it. Biso maybe. I haven't picked up this brand yet ever since I came back to selling clothing, but years ago I would pick it up here and there. They make interesting pieces, and this one also reminded me of a steampunk style, I think it was a tunic top or a tunic dress that I recently sold. It was also purple. It had similar buttons like this, although that one did give off more of a steampunk vibe. This one is more preppy career style, so I don't know if it was a mistake to get this one, but I guess we'll see. This is something I picked up without even looking up. I thought it was very pretty with the puff shoulders here, dark green color, very fall-ish, long sleeve, mock neck, just a pretty basic that people look out for. It is by Gap, so nothing too special there, but I think I can get at least $16-17 out of this. Here we have Pilcrow, which has been showing up a whole bunch of my hauls lately. I've really been enjoying picking up this brand because it sells every time. Not for much, but their pieces are very pretty. It seems like the sell-through rate is not always there, but somehow they end up selling. I thought this one was pretty. They called it a raglan type top, I guess because of the division it has here at the sleeves and shoulders. Long sleeve, a little bit of cuffing, pretty, again, fall-ish color. I thought this was a very pretty vintage looking top. I'm not sure if it's true vintage, but it looks like it. Madden Girl. I pick up shoes by this brand. I've never picked up any clothing by them, but it does have like sheer bell sleeves here, floral lace, the milkmaid style silhouette here, lace up, very pretty, size large. This one I think was a mistake. I was going back and forth with it, and that day I didn't find too much stuff, so I just ended up taking the chance on it. It is by Fashion Nova, which I pick up here and there. They do make some pieces that are very out there, which sometimes can do well. But I thought with this one I could use cool words like edgy, goth, punk, baddie, all of those things. I love that it has the chunky rib knit, the super flare sleeves, very fitted. I should try to look for a stock photo for this. I did list it already, but I listed it without one. I think a stock photo would really help this one move, so I'm going to try to remember to do that. This is one that I did look up just to see what the comps were looking like. What intrigued me was obviously the Pokemon graphic, but also that it was new with tags. It is a men's size medium, just black in the back with a graphic here in the front. Comps looked okay, so hopefully this sells for me. This top is not as fall-ish like the other ones. It is more summery. Very wide sleeves as well. They also have a slit. It is actually lined with a tank or a sports bra looking thing at the bottom. Very flowy by this brand called Natural Life. Crop style. We'll see how this does. This one here, I took a chance on it because I thought it was so beautiful. The bottom tan lining is just thick. It's very substantial. It doesn't have a size or anything or even a material tag, but it does have this right here that says equestrian. I looked up that brand. I didn't find anything, but what made me consider leaving it behind was that it had some yellowish like stains here at the sleeve, but I thought I would take the chance and try to stain treat it, and luckily it worked. I just put in the Dawn dish soap mixed with baking soda, threw it in the washer inside out, and then just let it air dry outside, and it looks excellent now. So I think this is going to end up doing well for me. I'm going to try to look up that brand a little bit more thoroughly to see if I can find something on it so that I price it right, but I think this will have no problem moving just based on style. So many great keywords and directions we can go with this, like bridal, a bridal guest, wedding. We can go coquette, we can go girly, ethereal, angel-like, angel core. All those things go with this top, and like the tag suggests as well, western chic vibes, equestrian. Such a pretty top. I also washed this one because it did have some staining. UMG size 2X. It had like white stuff here in the front and in the back, but now it looks great. It has these flower appliques here at the sleeves, very wide and puffy, boxy, relaxed style. These are the kind of things that do well for the plus sizes. A flowy, just more relaxed fit type item. So I think this one will as well. I also love that it is a dark navy blue neutral color. Here's another equestrian type piece by Rockin' C. It is a cardigan kimono type thing, very sheer, floral lace, very pretty, like beach cover up kind of thing. So again, hopefully this sells for me before summer ends. I thought this thing was extremely pretty. It is very heavy, very well made, and I instantly could tell that when I saw it inside the bin and I was looking over it. I took it back to my cart to look over it very well to make sure there wasn't any damage. I did the comps and I saw that it did have this sheer mesh train that is supposed to zip down here and flow towards the bottom. So it is a 2-in-1 corset style dress. It is by Auntie Simone, which I've never heard of. But once I saw the price that these were selling for online in the hundreds, 200s, I decided, yeah, I think I can pay $2 for this and get something out of it. So I brought it home. Once I got here, that's when I noticed the flaws. Right here, it does have a rip, but the tan lining is underneath it, so you can hardly tell. Hopefully that doesn't affect its sellability, but still I wasn't able to price it as high as others because it's missing the train and because of that rip. So we'll see how this one does in the end. This is a costume. I thought this was a great style for me to start trying these out to see how they do. They were pricing them online in the 20s or 30s, so I thought that was decent enough, and I thought this was a very pretty one. It is like a sexy Red Riding Hood type costume, and it is by Spirit. This dress right here is a very old dress by Free People. It still has that copper tag, but yeah, it just gave me that older style vibe, especially with the high-low, which is a thing that used to be popular in the past. And sure enough, when I looked it up, it did seem that it was an outdated style, but it was still selling okay. The sell-through rate wasn't the best, but I figured I could still get about $20 out of this just because of the style. It is plaid. It has embroidery here all over, a keyhole back here. It just gives me those made in India type dresses. That's the vibe it gives me. Here's another little lingerie type dress like the Victoria's Secret one, but this one is by Ink, which actually I've been finding and picking up more than I used to. In the past it was just an automatic skip, but lately I've been testing out some of their styles and selling them just using keywords, and it's sort of been working out. So we'll see how this one does. I love the color. I love that it had lace, baby doll style, very coquette and girly. Colorful open crochet knit dress. It is by Forever 21, and I decided to give this one a shot because I picked up a Forever 21 top that looked just like this intro, which I pick up here and there. Some of their pieces really hit the mark on certain styles people are looking for. This one, I don't know, maybe not so much. It is longer length, tiered. It does have pockets on the side, the flutter sleeves, and I didn't pay much for it. Size large, pretty mauvey. This is a jumper, dark brown corduroy style dress. This one is by American Eagle. It is a size extra large. This is the second one that I'm adding to my closet. The first one has been sitting for a while, but that one is a very cheap brand. I can't remember what it is, but nothing like American Eagle. It's a lot cheaper than that, but it's been sitting. If I see that this one sits as well, I'm gonna stop picking up these style of dresses. I picked them up mainly because of the cottage core aesthetic. This next one I mainly just got on a whim. I was already leaving the store and I had, I think, like 19 pounds, and it's 21 pounds to get to the next tier just to pay a cheaper price per pound. She was like, are you sure you don't want to go get the extra 2 pounds just to make it to the next tier? I was like, I'm so over it, because that day I wasn't finding too much, and even the people around me, I heard them complaining about not finding a lot. I was just over it, but I was like, I guess I'll go try. They had just put out 2 new clothing bins, and I just went in there and just quickly try to find something to get the 2 extra pounds. This was one of the things I found. It is by ModCloth, size large, and it is a velvet velour type, flowers everywhere. I thought this was very whimsy, goth-like. I love the dark royal blue color, so I don't know how this is going to do for me. I didn't even attempt to look up. Maybe this is something I wouldn't have picked up if I wasn't in a hurry to try to get those 2 extra pounds. Here's a made in India style dress, and it is by this brand Riviera Sun. Kind of like a faded wash. Embroidery everywhere, super wide and flowy. It has lacy details here on the sleeves, and the back is just plain. But I love picking up these made in India style dresses. Sometimes I'll find them where it's just a free size. They don't even have a size because they're so relaxed fitting. It really could fit almost any size. This dress right here I thought was extremely pretty. Very Renaissance, boho, Ren Fair like, long, it has Swiss dots everywhere. I love the contrasting lace here. It's very subtle, but it's like tan. Smocking here, lacy sleeves, and then I brought it home and was disappointed because it does have some flaws. One of the flaws is that it has like white marks right here. It's like covered by the smocking. Once you let it go, you can't even see it. So that wouldn't have been a huge deal, but it also has some discoloration back here. It looks like maybe it was left in the sun, it was discolored, or bleach stain, I'm not sure. But it is by this brand that I've never heard of, a size extra large. Anna Cassie. I looked it up online, found some beautiful stock photos. I added it to my listing. Of course, disclosed the flaws. Another made in India dress, which is why I decided to pick it up. Although initially I picked it up out of the bin because I loved the color, the style. Then I saw it was tiered. It has lots of pluses. This one is by a brand that's called Just Max. And I tried looking it up, but what was coming back for me was Max Studio stuff, which is not what this dress is. In the end, I brought it home because it's just so pretty. A keyword I've been testing out with these type of super flowery dresses is garden. Also, I need to see if I added botanical somewhere in my listing, maybe all the way at the bottom where I add a bunch of keywords. But yeah, garden seems to be a keyword people use for these kind of dresses. Then we have this very cheap brand called Bloom Chic. I've sewed some pants by them before, so it is not a total dud, but we'll see how this dress does. It is a 1820, which I think is a 2X. It has these beautiful graphics, mushrooms, flowers, but I don't know if plus sizes sell well in these kind of aesthetics. This one I will be picking up in plus sizes. Airy, extra large, very wide leg, dark green pants. This is something I seem to find a lot at the bins, airy slouchy things, which is great because those tend to sell pretty quickly for me. I was excited to find this one here. It is by Packed, new with tags, and also a larger size, an extra large, a pretty burnt orange color. It would have been better if it was also a straight leg or wide leg. It is a jogger style, but still, I think this will have no problem moving for me once we get again closer to the colder weather season. That's something that you'll probably start seeing a lot, or at least I do here in my area once we get to fall and winter. The brand Pack in pants and sweaters, and they do really well. Not that long ago, I sold a pajama set. I forget for how much, somewhere around the 50s. So yeah, look out for Packed. These I did do comps on because the brand I wasn't too sure about, but I thought this silhouette of these pants was very beautiful. Wide leg, but not just your typical wide leg. It also has some pleating type detail here, a smocked waist in the back, or a stretchy waist in the back. The brand is Z Supply, which again falls under all of those other cheaper boutique style brands like BB, Poe, Zenana, Easel. All of those things fall in the same category for me. They are cheaper brands, but they do have some styles that people look out for. They keep up with the trends really well. Some of those brands are more known for the loungy, relaxed type of styles, which I think this falls right underneath that. And when I looked it up, comps look decent. These I actually did not pick up at the bins. They are by Calvin Klein. They were mine. I wore them once. They were brand new. Wore them once, washed them, and then they got like this super faded wash when they were very dark black. But I decided to go ahead and list them anyway and list them as faded black. Some people like that look, so I'm gonna get rid of those that way. Here we have this brand Fabletics, which I skip every single time when I'm at the thrift store. But when I looked up these specific pants, they seem to be doing okay. They are men's, a size large, athletic but also casual style pants. They seem to be going for around the $20 mark, so with Ben's prices I could make those work. These I didn't look up because I thought they were very cool. They are by Abercrombie, a larger size in a size 14, but they have silver zippers here in the front, in the back, and they're a barrel leg style pant, which you already know that kind of pant mixed with a utility type look does really well, so I expect these to do okay. Here's the kind of pants I've been talking about a lot lately, just very loose, flowy. These are kind of tapered at the end and they do have like a drop crotch, so these are called harem style pants. The sad thing about these is that they have no brand, literally no brand anywhere, no size or anything, so I think they were just sold on Amazon. I have gotten a couple offers already on Depop, so I think this will still end up selling for me. Hopefully I can end up moving them in the $18 range, lowest $16 to make them worth it. These I've actually picked up a few times before at regular thrift stores. They're the Wedgie Straight by Levi's. Although the other ones I think were just regular blue jeans. These are black. They have the button fly. They are a larger size, a size 32. When I picked them up at the thrift store, they ended up selling in the $24 range. And with thrift store prices at like $6-7, that just was not worth it for me. So I started skipping them every time I saw them after that. They do have a sell-through rate, from what I remember, at least back then, around a 20%, but again they still ended up selling around that $24 mark. But now with Ben's prices, I could make that work. This is something I could have probably left behind. It is by Faraday, which is not a bad brand. They do make some stuff that sells really well, but I don't know if this is one of them. It is just a tapered style, very lightweight linen, dusty blue pant. It is a smaller size, a size small. So again, like a lot of these other things, hopefully this ends up selling before summer ends for me, because if it doesn't, I anticipate this sitting for a while for me. And the last piece we have here on this rack is actually a banger. I think it's the thing I've picked up that's the most expensive out of all of this stuff. It is a pant and it is a sweater. It is by this brand called Crush. This is what I initially saw, these pants. And the crazy thing about it is that I saw it on my way out. I was already leaving, and I've made it a habit of, as I'm driving out with my car, stop at the go back table, because I'm going to drop off all the stuff I didn't end up wanting anyway. Before I put all my stuff in there, I look through there to see what other people have put back. And this was in the go bags. I saw the brand, it is tacked on, so I was like, okay, let's see. And then I saw the material tag, and I saw that these pants were 90% cashmere. And then the silhouette, like what? It is a flare style, which is trending. It is in. It is ribbed as well. So I thought, yes, these pants are definitely coming home with me. And then to my surprise, I spot the sweatshirt that goes with it. Also a very pretty style, also ribbed. And this one right here is 100% cashmere. So yeah, I was excited to find this. I didn't even look up comps because brand doesn't matter. The material, the style, all of that will get it sold. Unfortunately, I did notice that it does have a little bit of a snag here on the sweater where it connects. It is a little bit separated, but it's really minor. I did disclose it in the description of this and also pointed it out with the bright arrow in my pictures. So we'll see how this ends up selling for me. I did list it for $195. I tried looking up this brand, but I wasn't finding that much. I tried Crush, and then I tried Crush with the period at the end, and then I was seeing some stuff pop up on Google saying that Crush has rebranded as Crush Collection. So I really don't know. I looked up Crush Collection as well, Goodwill on eBay and nothing was popping up. Even when I changed the time frame on eBay research to 2 years, nothing was coming up. On Poshmark, I did see a lot of Crush items. They were labeling it as Crush Cashmere, like if that's what the brand name was. And there was a lot of listed and a lot of solds, and some of them were selling in the 300s for some sets. Then we had some hoodies for like 70, 80. So it's just really all over the place. If you know more about this brand, let me know in the comments down below, because I've never heard of it. But I'm taking my shot at $195. If I end up having to go down to like $120 for this set, it'll be okay. And maybe it won't sell right away. Maybe as we get closer to fall, I'll start seeing some interest in it. But this was something I could not leave behind. We've made it to the sweaters bin. Here at the top, we have a kids item actually. It is by this brand. What's it called? Oshkosh. And a size 4 little toddler jacket. It is new with tags, which is why I wanted to try it out. And also, I thought it would be able to fit my son, but it didn't. So I'm deciding to sell it after all. It is fleece lined, has this fur here, fur on the hood. I have been getting lots of kids items while I'm there sourcing. If I find something that is a very good brand or that looks like this, I am collecting them all in a bin, and come closer to winter, I am going to take it to a kids consignment store. I do have 2 near me, so I'm going to see how that goes, but it is something that I at least want to try out. Since I'm shopping at the bins and getting items for a lot cheaper, it helps me up the pounds I get in a single trip so that I can get those deeper discounts. And also hopefully it works out for me that I'm able to take that stuff and make maybe like $3 per piece, but since I don't have to take pictures and list it, all the better. This one though I thought was good enough for me to list on my own. All the other ones I do have in a bin down here. Maybe come closer to that time, I'll update y'all on how that goes. This one is by Land's End. It is a size large tall. It is a women's quarter zip. What drew me to this one is this speckled detail. In the past, this has been a very popular type of style of sweater during colder weather. It also has ribbing. It is a looser fit. Then we get to some more airy. This one is a size extra small / small. It's just a very slouchy, more like poncho style open front cardigan with patch pockets that go very deep here in the front. Also has some ribbing. I'm not going to keep repeating myself, but all of this stuff is stuff that I expect to sell closer to fall and winter, which is kind of good and kind of bad. As soon as people start shopping for those kind of items, mine will be up and ready to go, and I think I'm going to start seeing some amazing sales and profits. But also, me picking this stuff up right now and listing it right now is slowing the sell-through rate of my store for the time being, because I'm listing all this but it's not selling. But I think it'll be worth it in the end once they do start. This I thought was also an amazing piece. It is by C by Chloe. I say amazing, but I find these kind of shoes by this brand and they sit for a long time before they sell. So we'll see how this sweater ends up doing, but I thought it was very, very beautiful. A longer length cardigan. It does have puff sleeves, very well made, thick chunky knit that is ribbed. I was interrupted by my baby. He's ready for me to get out of here, but I am almost done. Like I was saying, this is a beautiful cardigan. I looked at the material very briefly while I was there shopping, and I did see that it had some virgin wool. But then when I got home and looked even closer, it is also a cashmere blend. So all of that helps. I was very excited to find this one. This is a style-based pickup. I don't know what that brand is. Mia Milano, and even when I listed it, it didn't seem to be anything too noteworthy. But again, a rib style, black. It has pearl-like buttons. It has this Peter Pan collar. Anything with Peter Pan collar does really well for me on Depop. Here's this brand again, Ink, which I tell y'all I'm experimenting with, and it's going good so far. I showed a steampunk blazer type jacket in my previous haul, the one I did right before this one. It hadn't sold at the time, and it sold yesterday, so that just upped my confidence with picking up this brand many more times. Again, this is kind of like a steampunk style, but it is open front, and it has ruffle-like details here at the sleeves and all down the trim right there in the front. It is a size medium, so we'll see how this one does. I do wish it had some sort of button somewhere, but I thought the ruffles was an interesting detail. Then we have this Nordstrom sweater. I think this one is men's. It is a size extra large, 100% extra fine merino wool, which if it was just that and it was a plain sweater, I probably wouldn't pick it up. I do see a lot of men's sweaters that are good materials, but they're plain and I leave them behind. This one though did have an interesting pattern with the argyle diamond type pattern, a beautiful just neutral dark blue color, very preppy, very scholar-like. So many great keywords we could use with that one. This one I picked up based on style. It is by Old Navy. I did see on Poshmark these 90s striped pattern sweaters are doing really well right now. This one doesn't give off that vibe completely, so I don't know if it was a mistake or not, because the other ones are more thinner stripes and just a little bit more colorful. But either way, I don't think this one will sit for too long in my closet, again once colder weather starts hitting. This also I picked up just based on style, and it is by Gap. It is their classic logo hoodie. I like the bright color, the ombre effect there on the logo, fleece lined, very warm, and it is like new condition, which is why I decided to give that one a try. This one here I was also very excited to find. It is a Levi's all Sherpa filled jacket. It is a men's trucker style gray corduroy, and it is a size extra large. So a lot of great things. The style of it, the color, the size. It has a lot of great features. I thought this one was also a very unique piece. It is by J. Crew, definitely vintage. The tag is all ripped up, the size and material tag, but it is a medium cotton mixed with acrylic. It is a hand knit sweater, chunky, heavy, and it does have a little bit of a slight flare on the sleeve. So I thought that one was a good one. Then we get to this sweater, which is by this lower end brand Talbots, which I don't pick up much, although some of their shoes do well for me, but I skip it more than I pick it up, especially in clothing. But at the bins, new with tags, just a classic ribbed black cardigan sweater. Then we have this brand, which is also airy, but it is their lower end brand called Offline. Or I don't know if it's lower end or just more, I don't know what it is. This is a quarter zip shacket type of thing. It has raw edges at the bottom, a dark green color, very thick for the winter. This one here, what is it? See, it's a shawl neck or cow neck. Oh, I think I got it. Oh, it's this one here, Smart Wool. This one I was excited to find. I don't know if you can see it, but you can usually spot it by that little man. That is a weird looking logo, but it's just a little skinny, scrawny man. These type of items do really well. I've sold some leggings by them that sold really fast. This is just a cow neck or turtleneck type sweater. This folds all the way over, and it is just 100% merino wool. A very cool basic. This is also just like a basic type sweater. It is by Nike, men's extra large. I did pick up a women's 2XL sweater that looks similar to this, except the logo was more towards the center. Everything I showed you previously has already been prepped and listed, but all this stuff I'm going to be steaming and prepping right after this video. First is this Monroe jacket. dark green color. What I liked about this one is the embroidered stars on the side of the sleeves. I thought there was some interesting keywords I could use with this one, and it had an interesting look. Has a patch pocket and buttons as well. It has a collar. Very cool. This one I picked up because I think it's going to do very great once I get it de-peeled. It is quince, size large, 100% cashmere, dark navy blue, but it does need a lot of de-peeling, so that's going to take me a while, but because it was so cheap, I thought it was worth doing. This one I got thinking that I could at least get like $18 to $20 out of it. It is by Cool. It is size large, men's quarter zip sweater, brown rustic color. It did have a faint spot somewhere here in the front. I'm trying to see if it got all the way off. I did the same thing as the lace shirt I showed earlier. Just put the baking soda, Dawn Just soap, washed it inside out and let it air dry, and it looks to be in great shape now. Same with this one. All three of those pieces I washed together. This one also has a faint stain, which did not come all the way off. I can see. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it looks like a pen mark. It's very light now, but it was darker before I washed it, which I did hesitate to wash this because it is just an acrylic style sweater, and I thought that it would kind of mess it up, but I let it air dry and it seems to be okay. The tag did get kind of shredded. It is by Hyacinth House, which I was very surprised when I saw the material tag and did see that it was acrylic. That mixed with polyester. That's sad news for this brand that's so expensive and sells for a lot. They could have made it with better materials, but I think the style of this and the colors is going to get this sold anyway. When I went back and was trying to get 2 extra pounds, this was the other piece I ended up finding. It was pretty heavy, so I was like, yeah, this will do it if it works out. It is by Logo. It says Logo Lavish. Never seen that. I know Logos by Lori Goldstein, but the Lavish I've never seen. It is a size 1X. This one I did quickly do a comp because I wasn't too sure about it. Logo has sat for me in the past for a long time, so I did definitely want to do my comps with this one. Just a very quick comp because again, my clothes was at the front already. I needed to hurry up. I thought it looked decent enough for me to give it a try. It does have lace trim here at the bottom, very long robe like open front. This again is hitting that kind of style that I've been liking picking up, the steampunk, preppy, goth, corporate goth even, some people call these kind of styles. Dark green velvet, and it is by Loft, size 10. I did look this up just to make sure that it wasn't going to sit for a while and that there was some proof behind it and that people were selling it, and it looked okay. I think I have a chance with that one. This one here, I had either skipped it already there at the bins that day, or then I found another one in a different style. I don't know, but I know I saw this tag before that day, whether it was the same sweater or a different style. It says steady hands. So I skipped it the first time, but the second time I saw that it was interesting colors, like gothy light colors, and also that looked like a Pac-Man to me. The back also has that same or maybe slightly different type of graphic, and also it has a varsity type look with the stripes here along the trims. So that's why I decided to go ahead and look up this brand. I forget now what I found out about it, but it was something good because I decided to bring it home. So I'm interested to learn more about this brand. It is a extra large / extra large, and then the materials aren't that bad. Viscose, polyester, nylon. If this was 100% acrylic, I would have probably left it behind. The only reason I got the other acrylic sweater, the pink one, is because Hyacinth House is a great brand, so those put together makes it okay. But for the most part, when I find sweaters, the first thing I do is look at the material tag, and if it's 100% acrylic, it's almost always an automatic skip. This one though feels very nice, and it has okay materials, and as I said, the brand seemed to be doing okay. This one I was really going back and forth with. When I'm going back and forth with pieces, sometimes I end up just putting it to the side and waiting till the very end of my trip to decide if I want to pick it up or not, because by then I'll see how good the trip was that day, and if it was really good, I'll be less tempted to take those items that I was really doubtful about. But this I thought was very pretty. Let me sip it up. It is an all over sequins Dallas Cowboys jacket. It also has the star in the back, the blue and the gray classic colors. I don't know why people skipped right over it. Maybe they thought it was too flashy, and initially I did too. When I went to look it up, I did see the sell-through rate was very low, maybe like 8 or 9%, but that kind of makes sense because we're not fully in football season yet. But I think come that time, this has a potential to sell for a very good price for me. From what I saw in the comps, maybe like $60, $70. So we'll see if this was worth the pickup. But again, because I'm paying very little at the bins, I'm more inclined to take some of these chances. I bet something like this at the regular thrift store, they would have priced at like $20, $30. Then I wouldn't have took the chance. But for $2, why not? Okay, this I think also has the potential of doing really well for me and being a piece that ends up bringing in a lot of profit. It is a brand called Free People Beach, which of course is by Free People. I saw it being called an airplane cardigan, something with the word airplane. It is very long, very heavy. It has these long sleeves. I can't even make out, oh, they're actually short sleeves, but they end up fitting as long sleeves. They do have side pockets, a very deep slit here on the side, very cozy feeling. I do see that I do have to do a little bit of depeeling, but once I looked it up, I was seeing that it was labeled as rare everywhere on all the platforms. It was labeled as rare and it was being listed very high. So once I get it depeeled, I think it's going to look great. And yeah, I'm really glad I looked into this because sitting in the bin, it just looks like a blanket. But I spotted that Free People Beach tag, and that's why I looked into it further. And I was also glad because it is a little bit heavy, and again, it helps me kind of get to those 20 pounds. 25 is the next goal because that's when I can get the cheapest of inventory, probably paying closer to $1, $1.50. So hopefully I get there one day. But as of now, it's going great. Initially, when I started going to the bins, I would be there a couple of hours and I would only end up finding like 5 pieces. But that brings us to the end of this video. I really hope you learned some new things today, that you enjoyed watching this long haul. Thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.